YouTube, what's happening? It is Sunday, April 20th, Easter, another holiday as well. Well, we are going to talk about baseball. There are 16 games on the slate today, as you see. We have a makeup game between Washington and Colorado. So we got two Washington Colorado games today. You can see them. Everything's day game except for the original Sunday night baseball, and then Washington Colorado is also making up tonight too. So there's your games. It's going to be a big old slate of games, but we got to recap yesterday because it was a beautiful day. NBA, NHL did nothing good for us. MLB brought us back from the depths, didn't they? They did great. Quantrill had over 2.5 walks. Torkelson hit a home run. He torqued one. Gilbert had 1,000 strikeouts. We're not going to talk about the Mets. They didn't hit the 8.5. Cincy Baltimore hit the 9. Gore had 13 strikeouts. Crochet only had 7. We got hooked on Crochet. Sale hit. Roop hit. And the Moneyline Parlay lost because the Padres lost. Everybody else won, though. 3 for 1, 3 out of 1. So overall, an amazing day in baseball. We will take that. That helped negate some of the NBA and NHL losses. Hey, we'll take it. Overall, it was a little bit slightly below average day. MLB was thankfully there to help recoup those losses. So if you want the plays typed out for every sport or access to yield spreadsheets, you can do yield research. Look at all that red. All you got to do is go join the HQ. Simple as that. So enough games. We have a big slate. We're going to try to mow through this. Let's get to the first game right now. Okay, with 16 games and everything starting super early today, I got to make this video quick. I'm going to spend about 1 minute per game today. I know it's going to go fast. We're not going to cover a lot of stuff, but I've already pre-looked at the games. I'm going to tell you what I'm playing, show you the advantages. If I don't show you, it's not an advantage. Simple as that. So this one, we have Cincinnati, Baltimore first. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Cincinnati, Baltimore, it is 170 Baltimore, 9.5 total. Let's look at the old spreadsheet. What we see here is Cincinnati has good offense recently. Last 10 games, they've been cooking on the offense. They've been doing pretty good, right? Baltimore, not so much. Well, you come over and look at the pictures, which we have. Let me show the pictures real quick. We have Spires versus Charlie Morton. Well, if you know anything about Charlie Morton, he hasn't been good recently. He just has not been good at all. So we see Homeboy has at least 4 earned runs in 6 straight games now. Now he's going up against Cincy, who is top 10 offense in average on-base slugging, OPS, doubles, RBIs, all of that. Okay, well, what about matchup-wise, how they do there? Well, let me show you the matchup. This is how Cincy is versus righties. We got some 300s on there. We got some good stuff. Against Morton, we have more success. That's our play. It's simple. We got Morton over 2.5 earned runs. Actually, why is it 1.5 even? I thought it was 2.5. 1.5? Are you telling me Charlie Morton's going to shut down a top 10 Cincinnati offense? Or are they thinking, because people think Cincinnati's offense isn't good, based on the season numbers, that Charlie Morton's going to have a good day? I ain't buying that. We're taking Charlie Morton over 1.5 earned runs. I can't even look at the other picture. They don't even though it Spires on ESPN, Outlier's like, nah, it ain't him. So I don't know. Somebody's wrong. I don't know, but I'm taking this Charlie Morton. I got to take this. Over 1.5 earned runs next. Our next game, we got Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 115 with an 8 total. We look at the who's pitching? Logan Allen versus Mitch Keller. Cool. Nothing crazy there. Spreadsheet-wise, what do we have? Cleveland is heating up recently. Pittsburgh is just eh. So Cleveland doing good right now. They're cooking. So we look over, okay, maybe the pitchers have a nice difference. Because right now I'm leaning Cleveland. Makes sense, right? We go to the props. We pull up the pitchers. We got Keller versus Cleveland. 2 home runs and 3 at-bats. We got a couple 6, 7, not much data. Against righties, you can see how Cleveland does. Not bad. Not amazing, but not bad. We got some 300s on there. We go to the other side. Pittsburgh versus Logan Allen. A whole lot of nothing. He's been shutting them down. Open up shop. Against lefties, they haven't done too well either. There's a couple 300s, but the rest is nothing. Keller, you can see what he's done. That's not what matters. This is what matters. Logan Allen earned runs, ain't gave up nothing last 2 to White Sox and Orioles. Been cooking. So, yeah, the best thing, and then we look at bats, there's like nothing here recently. So the thing we're going to take is we're going to go to game lines. We're going to take Cleveland on the plus 100 money line next. All right, next one's going to be Minnesota and Atlanta. We see it's basically a slight lean Atlanta with a 7.5. We come over and look at the pitchers. It is going to be Joe Ryan versus Grant Holmes. We come to the spreadsheet. We can see there's nothing really standing out here except maybe you want to take strikeouts against Atlanta. They are 26, averaging 9.7 last 10. They're swinging and missing a lot. So that could be a potential play. Everything else, nothing here for us, I don't think. So go to the props. We look at the strikeouts. Joe Ryan is pitching. It is an EV play. He is averaging 5.75 on the season, 5, 6, 4, and then he struck out 8 Mets. So Yeah, this is if you want to play this one, there you go. There's your play. I'll show you the matchups real quick though. Uh, Twins versus righties. They're pretty good versus righties. There are some ones, but there's some good numbers there. Against Grant Holmes, a little success for Bride, but that's about it. We go swap to Atlanta. You can see the history versus Joe Ryan. Not so much. I think Atlanta is also pretty decent as well. So this could be one of those ones you take. Let me show you the bats as well. And there's just nothing here. So this is a pass for me. Next. All right, next up we got White Sox, Red Sox, and Boston 275. They about lost in a crazy fashion yesterday. 9 is the total. Let's show you the pitchers. Today we have Sean Burke and Tanner Houck. So look at the sheets, and these two teams are garbage in the last 10. Look, they're both terrible. Yeah, you won 4, you lost 6. But guess what? The stats say you're the same damn team. Literally, you're copying each other in a lot of these columns. Strikeouts, everything's the same. If I swap the logos, it wouldn't make a difference. So that's how bad the Red Sox have been, and that's how bad Chicago always is. So let's look at the props. If you want to take them, we got the two pitchers I already told you about. Here is Chicago versus righties. Here's Chicago versus Huck. Not so much data. We swapped the other side. There is no data versus Sean Burke because he's never faced him. And then you have Boston versus righties. So I'm not. There's his season so far: 5-3 and 6. Not the best. And Tanner Houck got lit up for 11 runs versus Tampa last game. So if you want to touch this game, by all means, have fun. Let me show you the bats. The only good bat is going to be Sosa. Literally, everything else is just whoop, nothing there. So pass 100%. Next. All right, next up, Miami and Philadelphia. It's Philly 320 with an 8.5. That is a big ass spread. And it makes me laugh because pitchers, we have Connor Gillespie versus Luzardo. Cool. We come to sheets and we see, okay, the bats are great. Miami's bats are amazing, but they lost 5 in a row now because they can't win because their pitching sucks. And Philly is 1-3 because they're taking advantage of said sucky pitching. So Miami's doing great offensively, except for they're striking out a ton. But other than that, so I can see why Philly's 320. But I mean, if the pitching shows up at all, Miami wins. That's just it. The pitching isn't showing up for Miami. So let's go to those props, those pitchers that we said. Starting off with Miami's bats versus lefties. Miami's batting well against lefties. 476, 353, 389, 296, 313, 300, 269, 500, 281. They bat well against everybody because that's what I don't know how Miami's doing it, but they're doing great. Now give them some. Yeah, it's just against Luzardo, you can see nothing there. Philly against Gillespie, never faced him. And against righties, this is how Philly does. 357, 239. You see the numbers there. Miami's bats are better. It's just no question. Miami has some of the best bats in the league this year. But the pitching is atrocious. So what can you do? This is Luzardo's runs. We go 2025, you see, okay, cool. We come over here to Gillespie. He gave up 8 runs against Arizona. 2-1-3. I bet you that, you see that? You do this, you get your ass kicked. You can't do it. You can't do it. So we come over to bats. We see what we got. I mean, you could take anybody here. You could almost anybody, pick one. I mean, our Sweet Prince is only 3 out of 5 now, so it means he did hit again. So we got to leave him alone a little bit, see him warm back up. For me personally, I eat trust. If anything, I'll take the over. What's the over on this? 8.5. We got a hot Miami with terrible pitching versus bats doing well. I can see, let's take the over. I'm gonna go over 8.5. That seems like a fun one to me. The bats are gonna get theirs. It's just I can see Miami having a whole bunch of high scoring games this year because the pitcher ERA is gonna be ridiculous, but the bats will keep them in it to an extent where maybe they'll not be too bad. They're 8-12 it's because of the pitching. So we'll take the over 8.5. Let's move on to the next game. All right, Seattle and Toronto is up next. It's a slightly in Seattle on the road at 8 total. Let's look at the pitchers. It is going to be Luis Castillo versus Easton Lucas, as you see. So the spreadsheet, we see everything's kind of mid, just nothing really stands out except Seattle not being good at strikeouts. What's new? It's new year, same team. Seattle's just been good to start the season. They're getting back to what they do best, which is swing and miss a bunch. But the only problem is the pitchers, Easton Lucas, is not a strikeout dude. You can see he only struck out 3 Braves, and Atlanta is even worse than Seattle. So if you can't strike out Atlanta, how the hell are you going to strike out Seattle? I don't see it. So I'm not taking that. I would lean it though. It's only 4.5. He could get 5. Luis Castillo, you can see what he's been up to on his earned runs. Nothing standing out. We go to the bats. Sanchez, I mean, you can take him to get the hit if you want to pay the juice, but everything else is kind of, this game is just kind of to me. I don't like anything about it. Let me show you the hands and all that other stuff before I jump. But here's Seattle versus What the hell was that? Here's Seattle versus lefties. Only ones more, a bunch of nothing. We got 333, 333, and a bunch of bad. So we got three decent ones, and the rest are kind of Against Lucas, very limited data. Against Toronto versus Castillo, not very limited. We got some data, but nothing really stands out except how bad they are. And then against righties, you see how Toronto's been. Nothing screaming take me. So I'm going to leave this game alone. Pass next. All right, next up, KC and Detroit. We can see Detroit is a 205 favorite with a 7 total. Pretty low. 7's low. Pitchers, we have Waka Waka versus Scooby-Doo. So it's a good day here in the pitcher world. Come over to the spreadsheet. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a pitching. This is why it's only 7. Whoo, buddy. Look at the green, too. KC is last in runs at 2.1 runs per game in the last 10. Only getting 0.3 runs in the first. They're also getting 0.3 runs in the first. I mean, does this not scream Nerfy? This screams Nerfy, doesn't it? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Nerfy. Let's go look and see if everything else screams. So we got Waka versus Detroit history. A little disheartening, a little discomfort, a little indigestion when I think of this. Yeah, he hasn't been the best. Against righties, though, Detroit hasn't been the best. So you can see how they've been. They've been okay. I mean, Harper's been good, but the rest have been kind of eh. We flop the other side. We go KC overall versus lefties. KC's not bad against lefties, though. I see there's a couple 300s on here. But against Scooble, I mean, Perez has 4 home runs and 30 at-bats. Perez likes facing Scooby, doesn't he? Damn. All right. I'm still leaning Nerfy. I don't care. There's going to be a sweaty Nerfy. How about that? Instead of one of those just nice crisp breezes, it's going to be like a hot summer day. You're going to sweat a little bit in this one. So, walking the last 2 games, that's the whole game, though, not just the first inning. And then we pop and we see Scooble. Pretty good stuff. And then the bats, not too much, a little bit there. So I'm going Nerfy. I'm going to sweat it out. I'm taking it next. All right, next up, we got St. Louis and the Mets. They couldn't score no runs yesterday. Even with the wind helping, they were still 3-0 final. Wild game. Wild overall. Today, it is 138 Mets with a 7 total. Again, low scoring. Let's see the pitchers. Today, we have Sonny Gray versus Clay Holmes. That's a good matchup of pitchers. Let's look at the spreadsheet. 1v2. Nerfy. St. Louis has hit the Nerfy 10 straight games. At least. The last 10, they're 10-0 when it comes to not scoring in the first inning. Mets are 9-1. They are averaging 0.1 runs. It means they've scored 1 run in the first inning. St. Louis has scored no runs in the first inning. I'm taking the Nerfy, most likely, because these are averaged but we got good pitchers, so we can see. I'll probably sweat a Nerfy unless something else looks better. So look at the pitchers, see what we got. Cardinals versus righties. There's your numbers right there. Some stand out against Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes is doing pretty good. Can't complain. We swapped the other side against Sonny Gray with the Mets. Sonny Gray, not bad. Not bad, not great, but not bad. Against righties, you see how the Mets have done. So, yeah, nothing's truly standing out here. I want earned runs for both of these. Nope, nothing good. Bats, how the bats doing? A little decent, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, we're going Nerfy again. Back-to-back Nerfy. 6 simple outs. What could happen, right? Ain't like somebody's going to hit a home run on the first at-bat, right? Right? Exactly. Next. Our next up is Yankees and Tampa in Tampa, which means it's in New York technically because it's all the same area for them. So let's see. It is 154 for New York with an 8 total. Let's look at the pitchers. Today we are going to have Max Fried Chicken versus Pepio. Okay, spreadsheet. What we got? Offense doing good for Tampa, starting to heat up for Yankees a little bit. 7-3, 4-6. You see how they went. Tampa with that great walk-off yesterday. That was crazy. Let's look at the props. I've looked through these. Not loving what I see for anything, really. This is Yankees versus righties. You can see all the numbers. You can see how they've done. Against Pepio, nothing. Literally nothing. There's 1 hit here, and that's it. We flip sides. We go against Max Fried. And you can see Tampa, what they have done against lefties. A little success here, but not enough for me to care. So both bats struggle. So, but the over-under sitting at, what, 8? And it's going to be 8 at 90 degrees. I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. So those two, then we come to the bats. Maybe there's a batter properly. Like, I mean, there's a lot we could take, to be honest. Aranda is always a good one. Hell, I haven't taken him in a while. And look what he's done. He just keeps on crushing. You know what? I might take him. I was going to pass on this, but yeah, I think I got to take a Miranda. Yeah, we're going to take a Miranda to get over half of an HRR. How many plate appearances are you getting? They put you all most random places in the lineup. Sometimes you get 1. You're probably off. You probably pinch hit. But most of the time you get 5. You're averaging 3.8. I'll risk it. I'll take a Miranda. But damn, the pitchers are so good. Ah, if you overthink it, you pass. We're passing next. All right, we got the A's and the Brewers, and currently sitting on 122 Milwaukee with an 8 total. Pitchers, we have Jeffrey Springs going up against Logan Henderson, who has no stats, I don't think. He does have any props, I know that much already. So let's look at the spreadsheet. A's won the last game. You can see the offense still doing good. Milwaukee's still struggling a little bit with their averages and their hits, but A's are doing quite fine. Not a problem at all. They those don't walk much. That's about it. So far, leaning A's against is this a brand new pitcher? Let's look. Well, if I look over here, I got Springs. Logan Henderson, no data. Can I see Logan? No data. So it's his first appearance of the season, it looks like, against righties. The A's have been, we got several 300s on here, several of them. Okay, we go to Milwaukee versus Springs, 0 for 7 total. And against lefties, you see how Milwaukee has got a three, and that's it. We got 2 dudes that can hit. The rest are struggling against lefties. So yeah, I'm leaning A's heavy here. Yeah, he gives up some runs, but yeah, I think hell. Well, I can't look at the other side. There are no props. So any bats props on here we might go with? Brett Rooker get a hit. Very juicy. Sal, Bryce, William. I think I'm just going to go on the the Noakland A's. The Noakland A's, as somebody said in the comments. I thought was hilarious. Noakland. Yeah. So we're going to go to A's. ATH money line. That's just what I'm going to go with. They have the bats. They have a pitcher. Milwaukee struggles against lefties this year anyways. And their bats are struggling, period. So we'll take Oakland and move on to the next one. All right, next up we got Arizona and Chicago. 125. Chicago with a 7. You're like, 7? That's low. With the way the offense has been popping here recently. Well, let me show you why. Weather's why. Blowing in 16 miles an hour is not good. And then you throw 50 degrees and rain on top of it. That ain't a good day. Remember 2 days ago when it was 85, blowing out 23, and it was 10 to 11 after like in 3 innings of play? Yeah, that was a fun day. This isn't fun. This is disgusting. So, pitchers, who do we have? We come over here to the pitchers, and we have Merrill Kelly and Jameson Taillon. Okay, not bad. Not the best pitchers, but amazing. Not bad. The offenses look amazing, though. They look beautiful. Look at all that work they're doing. Just great stuff overall. 1 and 2 in runs, obviously, after the way the series has gone. So, props. Look at the pitchers. We got Jameson versus Diamondbacks. So you can see Suarez has 20 at-bats, 4 home runs, and a 1.5. Damn. He likes facing Jameson Taillon. And then we get righties. You can see how they've done this season. 370 for Naylor, 381 for Corbin, 408 for Smith, 300 for Thomas. Yeah, they've done pretty well against righties. Chicago, you can see what they have done against righties. 480 for Kelly, 319 for Bush, 300, 323. There's a lot. Both teams are crushing right now. Against Merrill Kelly, Turner has a 385 and 26 at-bats. Nobody has home runs like Suarez does, but still impressive nonetheless. So I particularly do not like this one. Yeah, the bats are looking great. Both pitchers are pretty decent. But the weather really concerns me. Really, it feels like one of those games that they kind of just want to get done with so they can move on. So I'm personally not going to play this one, but I showed you everything. You can play if you want. Next. All right, next up we got Dodgers and Rangers, and we can see it is LA 155 with a 9 total. Let's look over at the pitchers. Today is going to be Glasnow versus Amale. And we go to the spreadsheet. We look at the numbers and see, okay, Dodgers look like they're struggling a little bit. Average is good. They're getting hits. Texas is a little bit better in both. Nothing stands out strikeout-wise for all that. You can see the numbers there. Let's go to pitchers. Now, the main thing I'm seeing here is Texas versus righties. You can see 3, 3, 4, 4. They are doing well. And against Glasnow, 3, 4, 3. We got some dudes that can pop. That's pretty good. So Texas offense should be just fine. And Glasnow has not been the best. See, this is his earned runs in the last 10 games. That ain't the best. That ain't what you want to see. So now we pop over here. Dodgers versus righties. That's a lot of damn green. 3, almost 3, 3. That's, yeah, a lot of green. And then you want to see even more green? Let me show you this. 375, 429, 667, 389, 500, 300, 353. That's a lot. That's a lot. So both teams are going to do well with the bats, I believe. Both pitchers are kind of like look at your earned runs. Like, you've been good recently. Like, yeah, you've been great. Glasnow is not. Like, he got 5 to Philly. Come on now. You gave up nothing to Atlanta, but that was when Atlanta was starting the season off. They were terrible. Cubs, You did hold the Cubs though. That is enticing because we just saw how potent the Cubs offense has been, and this was literally 7 days ago. So this might be the worst of the 10 days they've had. Oh man, see this was difficult. I can't do this one because you're balling out. You shut down the Cubs, which is impressive. Both offenses have good numbers. I was going to lean the over, but then I'm looking at it. I was like, do I like a bat maybe? Josh Smith has been doing good. He's about the only one doing good. It's just, yeah, yeah. I'm not. No, no. We're playing smart today. I don't like Sunday baseball. I don't know why. It's just something about Sunday is just rough. So yeah, we're going to, and then it's Easter, so a lot of people are busy thinking about other things, and some people are thinking about 420. So they'll rather be doing that instead too. So we're passing. Next. All right, next up is Washington, Colorado. If you're new to this channel, you know this from last year. We have a rule. Washington, Colorado are playing a doubleheader today. Now, and they're playing a back-to-back doubleheader, which means they're starting a game at 3 and they're starting another game at 8, which I say back-to-back. They'll have like an hour, maybe 2 off, but still. Back-to-backs are funky. That's just what they are. You can, if you've ever bet it, you know how it works. You're going to have your main pitcher, then you have the next pitchers. The bullpens get all kind of whack and out of place. A lot of times they'll split the games. It's just too much. We like things to be the same. Consistency. You don't get that when it comes to double headers in baseball. You just don't. So we started doing it last year and it works out well. We leave double headers alone completely. We pass on them 100% of the time because there's no point of trying to guess who's going to be sitting in the second game or who's going to be sitting in the first game to play in the second game. Managers like to do too many funky things, but here I'll show you the numbers anyway. First game, you can see it is 112 and with a 10.5. Second game, it's the same. It's 118 with a 10.5. You can't see it, but it's on there. I come to the spreadsheet. It's going to be the same for both games because these are up to yesterday. So take a look at the stats. I don't even have props for the second game because they haven't loaded them yet because there's only the first game. They got to let the first game finish. So yeah, it makes it difficult. So there you go. I'm passing on both Colorado Washington games. Next. All right, San Fran Angels. Let's see. It is a pick 'em with an 8.5 total. Let me show you the pitchers. It is going to be Verlander versus Kikuchi. Yep, good stuff. Let's see if Verlander's still washed. He might not. He might be. He might not be. Depends what you think. Looking at the numbers, though, the Angels might be washed. My God, they fell off hard because San Francisco is doing way better all of a sudden. 6-4, 3-7. That makes sense. Makes sense. You see the numbers. Both bottom 5 in strikeouts. That's interesting. Let's go to props. So you see Angels versus righties. This is how they do overall this season versus the right-handed pitchers against Verlander. Not much data, but still 833-6. They've done some success. 364 for him. That's okay, cool. We flop to the other side. We go San Fran against Kikuchi. They also have some success, but nothing really crazy. Highs is a 333, so nothing really there against lefties. Remember how San Fran loved lefties last year? Now it's only 3 dudes. Lee loves them, and then we got a couple 300s. That's it. So, but the prop I'm loving the most is Kikuchi outs. As long as he gets his 6 innings, he is good. He's hit this in literally 9 straight games. So head to head, he hit up for 22 outs one time. Wow. So you got 22 outs. That's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably going to go with this. He's been ramped up to this. He's been doing this 2025. He's bang, 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 bang. It's 125. It's over 7. I like pitching outs. It's a prop not many people talk about. I don't know why. So Gucci, Kikuchi over. I wanted this yesterday for Skeens, but I couldn't get below 18.5. And what does he do? He still goes on and pitches 7 innings, which I would have hit anyway. So PO, pitching outs. I like pitching outs because everybody wants strikeouts and earn runs and hits, but nobody talks about the pitching outs often. They should, though. Verlander, yeah, oh my God. Bats, I'm not doing it. You could say, Jung to get a hit against Kikuchi because you saw he has a good history, but other than that, I would say Jung to get a hit, or I would take Kikuchi. Anything else I wouldn't trust because I don't trust Verlander not to get rocked by the Angels, even though the Angels are not that good right now, but I just don't trust it. I'm taking the pitching outs next. All right, last game, San Diego and Houston. And we can see is currently Houston with a slight lead with a 7.5 total. Cool. Pitchers is going to be Dylan Cease versus Valdez. Good deal. Spreadsheet. Everything kind of leans San Diego, but not by much because Houston is pretty above average to above average themselves. San Fran is just a little bit better. So neither team's striking out much. They're both in the top 5. Let's look at the player props, the numbers. Bang, bang. Let's see. San Diego versus Valdez. History. There's a little success, not much there. Against lefties, San Diego likes righties, but I mean, San Diego's just good against everybody really right now. So 3, yep, there's a 429. Yeah, so let's flop. Houston versus righties. San Diego's better against lefties than Houston is against righties. That's kind of funny. And against Dylan Cease, they are just not that good at all, except for Altuve, who's doing quite well with 357 and 14 at bats. So far, I'm leaning San Diego just off the rip because of that. So let's look at Valdez. Let's look at the, how are you outs? You used to be good at outs. Now you're kind of falling off. Hits, earned runs. Yeah, you gave up 7 to St. Louis last time. Yeah, 3, 0, 5, 0, 7. If this is 0, next one's going to be a 9. Just follow the trend. So, Dylan Cease, he got rocked by the A's of all teams. Weird. So it was like last year when Chris Hill got rocked by him too. I was like, what? Doesn't make sense. All right, whatever. There's those weird one-offs that just doesn't make any sense at all. And then the bats, you can see, well, you want Pena or you want Machado. Maybe you can take Tatis to go deep or something like that. I'm just going to keep it simple. We're going to follow. We know Cease is going to pitch like 7 innings probably is what he usually does unless Houston tags him. But I'm going to, let's see, San Diego's lost 2 in a row now though. A little concerning there, but I think I'm still going to take it. We're going to take San Diego money line. We're going to take that and end it right there. Not that many plays today. We only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays on a 16-game slate. There just wasn't that much value today. Just not. And then you got the whole Easter thing and like 420, and it's like people's minds are focused on, these people have families and they got friends they want to hang out with. So let's go to schedule. Let's look at tomorrow. Tomorrow we're back to work. Tomorrow's Monday. Holiday's over. Get your ass back to work. It's 2, 4, 6, 8 games on the slate. I'll be here tomorrow. Drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. It helps me out. Go check out the HQ if you want the plays typed out or access to the spreadsheets for all sports so you can do your own research. Other than that, I appreciate you being here. Go check out NBA and NHL, and we'll see you tomorrow on Monday for some more MLB. Peace.